What's up, everyone? Back on the channel today. Today I'm gonna finish up knocking out the tuck bumper. So I already did the pockets. I'll show you guys that in a second. But basically, where we're at is in another video I did the hardware. I internally mounted all the hardware. So these are the body to bumper brackets that go in here like this. Obviously both on this side, and this is all the hardware. These bolts for this, for the internal hardware, are an 11/16 bolt. So there's 4 on each side. So what I did was I went ahead and I marked them out where I want them and got them unbolted. Basically what I think I'm going to do is run a little stitch weld on the corners of these, because I prefer to just keep them on the car. You know, then at that point the bolts are just going to be for looks per se. But what that'll do is once I cut this piece, these will be in here forever, so I can cut the corner of the bumper and the bracket at the same time. Let me flip the bumper over real quick. So I've already marked out, this is a 1-inch tape, but I know for sure that this line on the inside is where I want to start the cut. This line on the outside is going to be determined when I have the bumper up on the car, how far that sucks it into the pocket. So I may end up not going 1 inch, but I know that I'm going to cut it off right here. And what that is this line is the very closest to where the square part of the carriage bolt that originally got welded in here is. So unfortunately I can't go anywhere inside of this line because there is that hardware there, and I do want to keep that. So the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut these, cut the inner lines and get the cap off. Then I'll put these bumper brackets back on, and then I'll just basically turn the bumper over like it is with these bolts back in, and I'll just zip off whatever is extended. So basically the inside, like this actual flat of the square hole, all that will get taken off. And so that's why I'm saying I want to weld it. Once I get it back together, weld this to the bumper so that it's just a little bit more structured, because basically what will happen is there's going to be 2 slots in here. So once I get it cut, I'll go ahead and put those caps off to the side, get them beveled and ground down so there's no chroming on it, and they're ready to weld back on. And then I'll get the bumper put up there and figure out how tight I need to make it, and then I can go ahead and cut these caps, tack them back on at the size that I need them, and figure out what needs adjustment. I have a feeling I'm going to have to do some adjusting here to make this work. So I just want to make sure I can get all this outside. Along with that, these holes on the bottom for some sort of spoiler that went under there, or like splitter in the rear, those are going to get cut off and flushed out, and I'll weld the half of the hole that's still showing. We don't need any of that. We're not putting any sort of splitter or plastic bumper underneath, so I want to keep this as clean as possible. We'll have to do that with the front bumper, which is up on top of the cabinet. But at this point, I'm just concerned about the back of the car. So I want to get that project done instead of jumping around all over the place. Just kind of stick to one thing, get it done, you know, make things flow smoothly. So let me switch you guys around, and I'll show you guys the bumper pockets now that they're all painted and done. All right, here we are, guys. So I just hit them with some flat black. I'm trying to get in the habit of when I got a bare metal area that I'm finished with, I just spray it with some flat black just so I don't have any surface rust or anything like that. My shop is air conditioned, but I still, you know, fingerprints and all that do a lot of surface rust. So that's the driver's side all knocked out basically. So if you look, this was all part of the body, and I tucked that back in there. And then as well as on the passenger side, same thing. I welded all in here, all the way around, blended it all out smooth. So she's really starting to come along, guys. We're getting there. But once I get this back bumper cut up, I can put it back on, and I'll time lapse the whole thing so you guys can see what I'm doing, and you know, I'll come back and talk to you guys here shortly. All right, guys, so I'm back. I just went to lunch. But before I went to lunch, I made sure to get that bumper mounted up. So as you can see, we're still retaining the factory bolting locations here and here, and as well as over here and over here. But obviously you can see a slight little change here. I cut the edges off, and let me grab one of them for you guys. So that was a rough idea where I put the line and all the X's, but to be honest, I actually really like where that leaves it. I mean, it's obviously the gap isn't that big. It's just because it's overlapped on sheet metal, but I mean, that looks solid, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut these off the 1-inch strip, and then I'll start beveling all these. I'll bevel this, and then I'll throw some tacks on there and kind of adjust how I need to. And then from there, give her a nice little weld and go on ahead and move on to the passenger side and get that one knocked out. So stay tuned, guys. I'll be back. All right, guys, so I've got the new part, the new corner of the bumper tacked in. So I'm gonna show you guys how sweet this thing looks. Holy crap. The gap is nice and even all the way around. Come around to the backside. Dude, this thing looks fantastic. And just for an extra little treat, because I wanted to show you guys what it would look like from factory, here's, I just put a couple of tacks on the one that I haven't cut. Look at that thing, dude. Even then, gap still pretty even. I'm gonna tighten the top bumper bracket just a little bit more. It looked like it had some area to improve, but here's from the front. Sorry, when I went to turn it to the side to show you guys, I pressed the power button and it turned it off, but look at that. This is with my phone actually on the body of the car. That gap is horrendous, you guys. So I'll take that 1 inch off of there and we'll have it looking good, looking nice and perfect like this one. There's another comparison. Unrivaled, you guys. This thing looks killer. It's coming out great. So stay tuned. I'm gonna cut that the other corner. I'll cut those tacks off and then I'll get it shortened down and I'll get it tacked in, and then we'll go over it a little bit more and I'll weld everything in, grind it all down. everybody. So at the point I'm at now, I just welded up the seams that I cut for the bumper to get it tucked in. Got them all welded up all the way down to the bottom, all the way over the top. I'm gonna go ahead, I got both sides done. I'll go ahead and grind it down, smooth it out, get it all metal finish, DA'd, everything. And then from there, we can take the bumper off. I'll go ahead and do the bottom parts like I was originally talking about yesterday. And then knock the front bumper out as well. And then the back bumper will be done after I metal finish it and cut these holes, or fill these holes. So stay tuned. I'm gonna get to grinding and I'll be back to you guys shortly. All right, you guys, so that's a wrap on the rear bumper as far as tucking goes. Get you a little idea here. Pretty smooth, guys. So, like I said, the last thing I'm gonna do is basically cut these flush and then fill in the holes because you'll have half circles that are still showing, and grind that all down, and that'll be a wrap on the rear bumper. And onto some other areas. I got to do the same thing on the front bumper. Not sure whether I'll knock that out next or wait until I have the front fenders on, so that way I can tuck the bumpers while I'm at it. But we'll see. We'll play it by ear. But yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, I'll be putting out a lot more content. This thing's got so much more to do. But stay tuned.